Ethereum Layer 1 and Layer 2. What is it? Today we are understanding scalability and security.
Scalability. You get security.
Ethereum as a Layer 1 blockchain offers security and decentralization, which is if you keep your money on Ethereum mainnet, it is unlikely that your money is going to be stolen by the node operators because it is so distributed that no one has this exact power to manipulate the past transactions of the blockchain. But there is a limitation for this, which is as validators from variety of backgrounds, ensuring decentralization, we keep participation affordable, which we have minimal hardware requirements, then this constraints limit to the network throughput and also bandwidth. But we are going to discuss the limit at the end of this video. So what is layer 2?
You can afford to take the high ground and add another layer to your...
What if we batch all these transactions together and keep it as one transaction on the mainnet? We are going to get cheaper fees, right? Because if we bundle 10 and we divide each transaction by 10, then it will be 10 times cheaper. Easy math. So there are several types of these layer 2s, mostly rollups, which use Ethereum data availability. They post the proofs on Ethereum. We have two types of them mainly. Optimistic rollups. We all know optimism, Arbitrum protocol, which have billions of total value locked. They have this fraud-proof system, which if there's dispute, they have this 7 days to search if this transaction is true or not.
So we compare requesting to the fraud department and they'll start an investigation for you.
And we also have ZK, Zero Knowledge Rollup, which is a technology, even if you're trying to like dispute and you are going to pinpoint a fraud transaction, it'll be highly unlikely that it is fraud transaction because there's a million of ways, or even if you pinpoint one or two of these transactions and one of them is true, everything is true. That is the simple concept of zero knowledge technology. But this comes at the cost of running the zero knowledge calculation, leading to a slightly or a higher fees than optimistic rollups.
I mean, it's not cheap, but I know we can make it work.
And then we have an intermediate between layer 2s and the mainnet, which is we call base rollups. So as I say, intermediate, they just batch the transactions together and let the main validators on the mainnet do all the work. Simple. But as you know, if you let the mainnet validators do the work, then they also have to do the work on the main chain, and this comes at the cost of paying them and compete with all the other transactions on the mainnet. So we are going closer.
So we're back to square one.
But it is still cheaper because we batch the transactions together. And then we also have this concept that maybe happen in the future, which is native rollups. We are not going to let other validators on top of Ethereum to do the work, but the validators of Ethereum themselves. But as I said, base rollups pay a lot of fees to these validators to do the work. So as a solution, and this is still a theory, which we can make a specific program. One of the core researchers of Ethereum called this
execute precompile,
which is, in simple word, is we let the Ethereum validators do the work, but at a very cheaper cost. Just to simply say that. And As a notable mention, we also have polygons as a sidechain, which recognize Ethereum as the main source or the more trustable blockchain, so they post their proof on Ethereum while running their own blockchain. So wait, I have to stop this video because I forgot to mention another set of rollups, which is Validiums. Let's say Ethereum cannot afford to give this bandwidth and throughput to the rollups. They can have an alternative data availability layer like EigenDA, and they use this to make their blockchains faster than ever. So back to the video. So the pros of this layer 2s is they have faster transactions, lower fees, and this leads to more adoption, more people coming or more users using Ethereum. But this will lead to some risk.
Yeah, there's some risk.
Which is smart contract upgrades, which can cause bugs, or even you can lose your own money. You can get your money stolen by the governance or by the people running the layer 2.
Hey, you just steal my money?
So as I said, with this limitation of Ethereum, which cause congestion and higher fees, they actually need these fees to run the blockchain on long term. But this is going to get lower and lower as hardware upgrades naturally, because even recently the gas limit has been raised and now it's really have been cheaper than ever to make a transaction, a swap or anything on the blockchain. So on the long term, this fees is actually not going to be a big problem if we can handle it carefully. And this fees is needed to run the blockchain for a very long time. We cannot rely on inflation or fixed supply because the validators will search for an alternative, any alternative to get their business profitable. Maybe with fixed supply, they are going to abandon running the nodes, or other blockchains have very high inflation which dilutes the token holders.
High inflation, bad investments.
Only profitable validators, miners, node runners are going to run the blockchain, and we don't know what will happen next. So all in all, to conclude this, layer 2s is a very complex concept and everything is fragmented, and the developer experience is very bad, honestly. But this is something maybe is worthwhile that we are going to make it, and I believe this is going to be a very big commodity on future because we can settle trades in a very trustless way.
Something worth fighting for.